Oh, yeah. What's up, Raider Nation? It's your boy, Mikey Raider, coming to you with an impromptu live stream. I've been very, very busy recently with family issues and some serious stuff. Plus, my computer is not always working. My phone is not working all the time. And just a lot of BS and drama. But I wanted to get back to today. Hopefully, you guys can hear me properly. I got a little bit of a different background. My video didn't seem like it had good sounding right now. I don't know. It says my internet is a little slow. Let's just work with it. This is Raider Football Talk Live. I apologize. I don't have the graphics that say Raider Football Talk Live and all that other stuff. But whenever I do those graphics on the computer, it slows it down even more. So you got to work with what you got. And I'm wearing my Christmas Kwanzaa holiday, can I even say Christmas, hat anymore? We're going to have ourselves a little bit of a talk and a hangout today. We're going to try to bring some positive energy to not only my life, maybe to your life, and we're going to have some fun talking Raiders. This is a members join stream. What that means is, if you are a member of this channel, if you're not, it's okay. Hit that like, that subscribe button. Consider becoming a member, picking up merchandise or whatever down below, donating, buy me some tacos. But if you want to become a member and join today's live stream, click the join button somewhere on your phone or on your page. And I think it's $2 or $3 for the month. And then go to the community page. And then there will be a link to join today's live stream while we're going along. If you feel like joining in video, because I need to hang out with you guys. I love y'all. I need y'all. And that's what it is. But unfortunately, you have to do it for members only, because if I put the link out to everybody in the world, well, then there might be some haters and some people that don't really support. So I have to kind of block some people and do it members only. I hope y'all understand. So click on the members only section, become a member, and we're going to have more future videos like this in the coming days. This is like our second one this year, but we're going to do a lot more with a lot more frequency. And I'm going to do I'm creating a show for this channel in the off season. I'm doing my best. But again, quickly, if you want to join today's live stream, please become a member of the channel. And then go to the community page and click on the link to join today's live stream. And I appreciate y'all. All right, let's look at some comments real quickly. Say hello to the people that are early birds, because early birds get the worm. It is what it is. Talking about Justin Jefferson. We're going to get into that more on today's show. Ruben Nava. What's up, Ruben? Santa Mikey says it is what it is. Salute Raider Critique and my boy Raider Critique. Merry holidays, brother. I don't know what to say. I don't know if I can say Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Christmas. I don't know. Is it anti-Semitic? I don't know. That probably got flagged already on YouTube. I don't know. Can I chant in a circle, don't kill anybody? Or is that anti-Semitic? I don't know. Edward Vigil, make a new music video. Have I ever made a music video? Do you mean an intro, Eduardo? I don't know. All right, but let's quickly talk about what we got going on today's show so people can understand what today's show is going to be about. We're going to go over some latest news. I'm not going to have all the graphics and the articles on screen again. I didn't really prepare that much because I've been dealing with a lot. I'm tired of giving excuses. But I'm just not one of those people with all the graphics nowadays. I just can't do it. But we're gonna go over some latest news from my perspective of what's going on behind the scenes with the Raiders. We're going to talk about Raider reporters. There's some major infighting. And there was a possible reprimand to one of these reporters by either Mark Davis or the Raiders press department. It's not being talked about. I have to be honest with you. I am not an official reporter, so it's speculation. But I think all the clues will lead to what I'm talking about. But we're going to talk about Raiders reporters that are infighting, now that McDaniels and Ziegler are gone, and that's what they're fighting about. It's hilarious. You think the snake is gone, but it comes back. And I hope you guys saw my last video. Did pretty well about there's still a snake in the building with TB12 and Alex Guerrero. I thought his name was Ray Guerrero, whatever I said in the video. But Alex Guerrero is, in my opinion, him and Tom Brady milking Max Crosby and the other Raiders for money. And we talked about that in the last video. We're not really going to go into that today unless you guys want to talk about it. But then, speaking of Max Crosby, we're going to get into Max Crosby's situation. And it is worse than you guys could even imagine. Or it could get worse based on the decisions they make starting right now. And we're going to talk about that. Again, I think this is something that needs to be talked about that not a lot of people are talking about. The Max Crosby situation. People are like, what situation? The knee? Yes. Then we're gonna dive into, does Antonio Pierce? Oh, I should have shown the graphics for these things. There we go. I guess graphics. Max Crosby's situation getting worse. We're going to talk about that. Then we're going to talk about, does Antonio Pierce deserve to be our next head coach? And hopefully I have some guests, to debate with. Again, this is a show where you can join if you become in the members only section. The link is in our members community. I didn't have time to put it on Twitter or in direct messages to everybody. My apologies. I just put it on the members only link community page. And if you want to join, hopefully we have guests to debate this stuff. But if not, I'll debate it with you guys in the chat room and in the forum. So we're going to talk, does AP deserve to be our next head coach? We're also going to talk, should Davante Adams come back next year? I mean, this is a serious question. I know it's still during the season and we're fighting for the playoffs or to do anything, but it's a serious question to me, and I'd like to talk about it with you guys. We're also going to have a game preview from my perspective, a simple Jack type of game preview. And then we're going to talk about some storylines from the game and give a final prediction on what might happen then during the whole show, basically. But maybe at the end, we're going to have a Q&A for a little bit. So let's hope for an hour and a half, if not, hopefully not much longer type of show. So here it is. And consider super chatting, asking me some questions during the show, becoming a member, all that other stuff. I appreciate you. I ain't gonna lie. I need the help. And if you have anything, ways to help me, pay my bills, buy some tacos, I appreciate you. All right, enough of the asking for handouts. Now let's get to work and earn your subscriptions, your super chats, and all that other stuff. Hopefully you have a good day with me today. And hopefully I've earned your subscription, your super chat, your membership, and your friendship, more importantly. All right, let me get this, whatever the heck it is, off of screen. Sorry, guys. All right, let's throw that up for now. And let's check out the chat room. All right, critique is on there. Raiders beat writers, MSM, all morons. It is what it is. No, really? That knee. I thought it would be better. Damn. Yeah, we're gonna get into that, man. Again, people are not talking about it, and Antonio Pierce is making it a situation, but we'll talk about it in a couple seconds. I don't see that happening if S hits the fan this year. What do you guys think about trading Adams and JJ? That's a good question. How about we revisit that in a little bit? All right. We got all right, we got like 10 people online. All right, let's move along. Let's start the show, even though we don't technically have any guests or whatever. I mean, in video, which I was hoping for, but I can't control any of that. Brought back the old YouTube play button, like, what was it, 30,000 subscribers button. It's not an official one. It was made for me from my brother as a gift for on my old channel, getting 30,000 subscribers. I went up to 60, but hey, we all know what happened there. All right, let's move on. All right, let's get into, I guess, some latest news maybe. And stories and react. And, oh, just for information, I will be going live Thursday Night Football. I'm going to make it an event. I'm getting effed up, y'all. I'm getting effed up. Hopefully, y'all will buy me beers, or I'm going to actually buy shots. And I'm going to get effed up for Thursday Night Football. I don't know why I'm doing it. I don't really like to do it, but I'm going to do it. Thursday Night Football live, watching the Chargers versus Raiders. So come and join me for that stream. I'm literally probably going to drink before I start. And then I'm going to tell you guys to buy me a beer or food or whatever, super chats, and I'm going to get effed up. That's going to be a wild show. I don't know why I'm going to do this. Just that time in my life. With everything I've been dealing with, I feel like doing it. So Thursday Night Football, come on and join me. Bring some donations or bring some fun, and we're going to get effed up and hopefully get a Raider victory. I don't know what's going to happen. It's going to be a wild one, y'all. All right, let's talk about the Raiders reporter that are infighting over false reports. Mark Torres is online. What's up, Marky? The Raiders beat writers are certainly better than Chat Sports. They were all in on Aiden O'Connell and Pierce. Then they lost 2 games, which they were expected. And now they want AOC and Pierce gone. Yeah, that is the storylines that has been happening, Mark. You're absolutely correct. So let's get into the backstory of the Raiders reporter and the infighting that maybe some of you guys are not aware of. So I don't know all the official names and the companies they work for, but let's just mention a few of them. There's Hondo Carpenter, there's Vic THRU, there's Vincent Bonsignor, Paul Gutierrez, Q, your boy Q, and all that. And earlier this season, your boy Q, when we were dealing with the evilness of McDaniels and Ziegler, Q came out with some report that was like, I forgot what it was, but it was like a ridiculous take about the Raiders situation. And it sounded like a message that was being handed by our general manager or that by our former coach to get a storyline or an agenda to the reporters to either bash a certain player or team or situation and to make it look in their favor. That's what happened with your boy Q. He got a lot of feedback for it. And we all know what happened with the storylines from reporters like Lombardi and whatever from about Derek Carr as well last year. Derek Carr, oh, can I mention his name anymore? Forgive me. I didn't mean to hurt y'all. But they mentioned stories about how he was a crybaby player. He was sulking. You know, he doesn't do what the team wants, and he's bringing the morale down on the team. And again, that may all be true to you, the people that do not like Derek Carr, even nowadays with the Saints. That's okay. That's not what I'm here to talk about. But the storyline was a purebred intention to make Derek Carr look bad, to have the fans sour on him even more, and hopefully bring people to the decision on why our former coach and general manager, you know, released him, benched him, et cetera, so on and so forth. There's been a lot of stories from our general manager and all that other stuff now since our former coach is gone. Our former coach is toxic to everybody because now the truth has come out about all the bullshit, about all the evilness that he is and truly is. And now Dave Ziegler, is trying to get another job somewhere. So now Dave Ziegler is using his media people that are still in the building for the Raiders. But now they're outing themselves as stool pigeons. I was calling for Hondo Carpenter as a stool pigeon ever since last year. I was calling Hondo Carpenter a stool pigeon because he had the first question after every loss, and then every time he asked a question, oh, Derek Carr didn't play so good today, or Josh Jacobs didn't do this today, or you had a tough time because of this today, Josh, our former coach. Again, I'm never going to say his name again. So Hondo Carpenter is a stool pigeon. But recently the tides have turned, and he realized that when we were getting rid of our former coach and a lot of other truths were coming out, he couldn't just bash on the Raider players anymore because we looked really bad. So Hondo Carpenter had to take a twist, and he started talking bad about our former coach and the team itself. So now new fans became Hondo Carpenter fans. And then Hondo Carpenter's videos went up in views during the firing and all that former coach talk that was going on. Once Raider Nation was fully soured and wanted them all fired and gone. Hondo Carpenter he always goes where the mass public goes. So he turned his agenda toward discrediting our former coach and our defense and our play on the field at that time. Now he's ingratiated himself with a lot of people, and now he's feeling egotistical. So what Hondo Carpenter did was, because he is a stool pigeon formerly for our former coach, and he is still clearly a mouthpiece for Dave Ziegler. He had a report that came out that said Dave Ziegler wanted our former coach to draft C.J. Stroud. He wanted our former coach to go out and do whatever they could to draft C.J. Stroud. Give up draft picks, do whatever they can do to draft C.J. Stroud. Not only Bryce Young. Bryce Young wasn't mentioned. Why? Because Bryce Young ain't playing so good. C.J. Stroud is playing much better and looks better to the general public. So now McDaniels put out the report. I wanted to draft C.J. Stroud, and I wanted our former coach to do everything they could to get him. You're the general manager. Isn't it your choice? Why are you trying to remove yourself from our former coach? Because you still want a job. Okay, there was also a report saying that they wanted to draft another player besides Tyree Wilson. That he wanted to draft another player besides Tyree Wilson. Now that Tyree Wilson doesn't look good at all. And all of these reports came from like the Michael Lombardis, the Hondo Carpenter, and other people like that are still under Dave Ziegler's thumb. So now Hondo put out a report, something like this, and Vic THRU, and I spoke about it in a video 2 weeks ago. Vic THRU, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, started commenting on Hondo Carpenter's reports in his videos and in his articles. This is 3 weeks ago, mind you. And I made a video talking about it. I think it might be titled Reporters Fighting. Vic THRU and Paul Gutierrez 3 weeks ago, and I believe Vincent Bonsignore was in it as well, refuted whatever Hondo Carpenter's take was 3 weeks ago. Then they refuted it, and it became a little bit public, and people heard about it, but it wasn't as big as the one that we're talking about. But then Hondo Carpenter made a video and goes, I love Victor Fur. I just had lunch with him today. Hondo Carpenter has lunch and dinner with everybody. It's all good. He tells his stories and all that. He's a good guy. But he's literally trying to get clicks, make money, and he works for Sports Illustrated, supposedly. That's a speculation. I shouldn't have said that. But we all know about AI and Sports Illustrated using AI to generate reporters. Is Hondo Carpenter a piece of that AI for Sports Illustrated? I don't know. But Hondo Carpenter's a good dude, but like his reporting is of a stool pigeon nature, is of an agenda nature, and he goes with the max flow of the public. Wherever the tide goes, he gonna jump on it. Because let's be honest, Sports Illustrated has drama and turmoil, and their reporters are probably being fired, and he still wants to stay in the building. Hondo Carpenter. So why does he still want to stay in the building? Well, again, his reports have been refuted by other reporters. But then, like I said, just this report recently about Dave Ziegler wanting to draft CJ Stroud, another player over Tyree Wilson, etc., so on and so forth, came out of his mouth and in his articles. And now Victor Fur has not only doubled down or tripled down, he brought receipts that report is inaccurate. So this is basically the third report in 3 weeks from Hondo Carpenter that can easily be not believable. And it's Hondo Carpenter is outing himself as of the leak. Remember there was an Antonio Pierce leak as well about what was said to him from our former coach in that players and coach meeting before he was let go. So there's a lot of leaks in the Raiders reporters building, and it has been ever since Dave Ziegler and our former coach became the staff. There's been major leaks, but in their favor. Now they are no longer here, so there cannot be any more leaks in their favor. So that's why the report about what our former coach said to Antonio Pierce in that players and coach meeting came out, because another Raider reporter, not Hondo, leaked that report because it was finally a report against our former coach and general manager. So if we all needed to know who the leaks were and who the stool pigeons were, well, with the report from Hondo Carpenter trying to help Dave Ziegler out, we all know it was him. I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I'm not saying he's not trustworthy. It's just there was a couple of fabrications or being a stool pigeon for Dave Ziegler that came out. And Victor Fur, Vincent Bonsignor, and Paul Gutierrez called him out on it. And now they got caught. He got caught. And he hasn't walked it back to my knowledge. I don't know if he's doubling down. But here's what happened. Right after Victor Fur and those people brought the receipts, and I'll get to your comments in a minute, I promise you guys. Right after they brought the receipts that the reports are inaccurate, Hondo Carpenter was nowhere to be seen. And right after they became inaccurate and he got proven wrong, he immediately made a video with Wayne the Violator Mabry, a Raider Nation superfan. I love him. But why did he do that? He's trying to take a controversy that's out there and then show Raider Nation he's for them by interviewing Wayne the Violator Mabry and talking about Raider Nation and his love for that. But yet he always says in his videos, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of the Raiders. I'm a reporter. I do my job. But I want them to play good because that'll, be good for me. And he always says that in his videos. But yet now he's doing what we typically do as actual fans, and he's interviewing Raider Nation and super fans. Why? He's separating himself from the reporting. And he's trying to ingratiate himself with other fans that are fans of him, not just for his reporting. So all the clues are there, guys, that, he's done some miscalculations and some missteps recently, and it's showing, and he got caught with receipts. And then right when the receipts came out, like I said, he made that interview with Wayne the Violator Mabry to try to take heat off of him. And he wasn't there for the first 3 press conferences for the Raiders. When they talked to the head coach, I'm not the head coach, the coordinators on like Tuesday or Wednesday, I think he wasn't there Wednesday, and I don't believe he was there Thursday asking questions, but he was there Friday talking to Antonio Pierce. So what happened for those 3 or 4 days? Well, I have a rumor or a speculation, since he got caught with possible stool pigeon reporting, that he was reprimanded and told to stay out of the building for a couple of days. I'm not proving it's fact. But again, it's all been revealed that maybe him was a leaker for the Dave Ziegler and our former coach era. And a lot of stuff has come out about the Raiders the past year and a half. Not in a good light, but for our former coach and our former GM. Maybe he got caught. Maybe he was reprimanded by Mark Davis, the Raiders PR department, and they told him, you know what? Don't come in for a couple of days. Or did he stay away? Because he was like, how do I spin this? I don't know. It's up to everybody's decision. But that's the Raiders reporter's story of infighting over false reports. And at the end of the day, maybe nothing else will come out about this, because Hondo Carpenter's back in the building, and probably everybody's just going to move along. It was dealt with, and they're not going to talk about it. Because if you talk about it, it creates more drama. People get found out even more that they did some shady stuff. They're not going to talk about it. All right, that's it for the story. So let's see some comments about that story. Oh, yeah, the story about Bisaccia too. Yeah. Thank you, Mark Torres. Hondo Carpenter wrote like a speculation where he said, if Mark Davis would hire Rich Bisaccia again as the new coach. And he's talking about that right when Antonio Pierce is our coach. That's right. That was another story or an article. Thank you very much, Mark. It's another little ridiculous article or thing from Hondo Carpenter that was refuted. Ridiculous. So it's Hondo versus THRU, technically. But they'll tell you publicly they're good friends and they're just reporters and they're doing their job. And Victor THRU doesn't have any beef with him. Victor THRU just says, I believe this, I have the receipts and the story is inaccurate. And then Hondo could say, well, I didn't make that story. I got information from another person. So Victor THRU is not mad at me. And if the story is inaccurate, like Victor THRU proved, it's not because of me. It's because of my source. And then we're all finding out his source is a stool pigeon in Dave Ziegler. Would I rather have chunky? I don't know what that means. Peanut butter? Oh, Chucky. We'll talk about that in the next segment. We're going to talk about Antonio Pierce and the replacements. Cali Bird wants Chucky. You can tell. Cali Bird's like, bring back Chucky. Mikey, if Gruden wins in Nevada courts, you think we bring him back? Hey, let me flip around and reverse that, and we'll talk about that in a couple of seconds. Mikey, what happened to your phone hotline? It's a Google voicemail number. Sorry, can I get that up there? It's a Google voicemail number, and I haven't called it in a good while. Forgive me, my internet looks like it's slowing down. Hopefully it doesn't affect you guys. But my Google voicemail line, I think it got like turned over or released because due to lack of activity, which is on me. So I got to put together that phone number, see if I can get it again. And I really got to start paying attention and doing better. So you're saying Hondo is your snake and THRU is trustworthy. I don't think Hondo is your snake. He's a good dude. He's a good dude. It's just he's doing multiple jobs for multiple people. Trying to make money, clickbait, become popular, whatever the situation is, to feed his ego, whatever. In my opinion, he's been proven doing that. But he's not a snake. Like, he's a good dude. Like, at the end of the day, now that he got caught or whatever, he's going to calm down and he'll be a much better man moving forward. And I do believe THRU is trustworthy to a fault. THRU is very straightforward and he says the correct information, but he says it in a tough demeanor. And sometimes you don't know, like, if he really means it or if it's true. But THRU has been on more popular websites in video, like with more, like on ESPN, NFL Network. THRU has been on, I forgot the other guy's name, show, Rich Eisen, more so than Hondo. So THRU in the community is respected more than Hondo, provenly. They just take a story and run with it, regardless of collateral damage. Yep. That both media can't trust. Look what they did to Gruden. Exactly. What's up, Narmosh? I'm pretty sure that's Narmosh Thrash. Or if not, what's up, Thrash? Black Sheep's got a bunch of questions. So you think Hondo is a plant by the NFL with an agenda? Not by the NFL. No. He's just one of those guys that he'll latch on to people and be their lackey because he wants to. He wants to create a chemistry with the big people, the general managers, the coaches. He don't care about the players. That's what I'm saying. But now he's caring about the fans. Now he's caring about the players because his people are gone. Gruden won't come back because I think Mark realizes that Gruden is very poor at player evaluations and Gruden won't coach without full control. Yeah, well, that's a good story. We got to talk about that in a minute. We'll get into that, brother. I promise you. Lola what's up, dude? Let me on my computer. Thank you for the super chat, brother. I love you. And just a reminder, if you're a member of this channel and you want to join right now the live stream and debate all of this stuff, become a member or go to the members community page, click on the link in the members community page, join this live stream right now. Do it. Get it done. Hey, Mikey, what's the oversimplified version over the Brady and Crosby topic? I missed it. Sorry. No, we haven't done it yet. It's coming up, brother. I was giving you an insight to what the show was going to be about. So you can either watch it later if you have to go, but it's coming up. Those segments are coming up, brother. Thank you for the super chat. Love you, brother. I do agree with Hondo on one thing. The Raiders should go to a general manager to hire a coach as opposed to hiring both general manager and the coach as a package. Yeah, I believe he said that before. I could agree. I don't want Mark Davis doing anything else anymore. I'm fed up, man. I'm fed up. Brady and Crosby got beef now? No, they do not. The story's coming up. We'll talk about it right now. All right, so that brings me to... Let's just play a video and then we'll get to the next segment. I want to see how the video works. Clearly, it ain't working very well, so forgive me. I needed to test it out. I don't know what's going on, whether it be my computer, my internet. What's up, y'all? It's Mikey Raider. This is Raider Football Talk. And let's continue the latest news segment and the storylines before we get into the game preview. And let's move along. All right. What did Hondo do? You're going to have to go back and watch the video, Thrash. There's been some reports that have been inaccurate and proven to be wrong by other Raider reporters, and it makes Hondo Carpenter look bad, and it's kind of proving he's a stool pigeon, for lack of a better word, for Dave Ziegler and our former regime. And he's trying to kiss ass by interviewing fans and other people because he got caught in 4K. All right, let me get that banner for the next subject. There we go. Is the Max Crosby situation getting worse? People might not think it is. Some people think it is. I'm a worrywart, and I see things differently than many people. But we all know that Max Crosby has a knee issue, and if you watched his podcast from last week after he played in the Chiefs game sparingly, and even though he had a sack, he didn't play very well. He didn't have the Max Crosby get off because he went through an illness, and he went through like a drainage of his knee, and he went through a lot that week. So let's hope it was just a bad week. And he somehow still played in the game, even though sparingly they took him out at some weird situations versus the Chiefs. They took him out on some weird occasions. I talk about that in my game review video or my post-game video, so you can watch that for more. But, should he have even played in that game? That was the question that I had for myself. The season is pretty much over. We're not really going to make the wild card, even though we still have a chance. But, Max Crosby is so important to us that I kind of had that question, why does he even play in that game? And then a week later, we're going to have a bye week, But we didn't know the severity of the knee, and we still don't. They're not talking about it that much. I'm no doctor, but Antonio Pierce and even Max Crosby, it's okay. And they're saying Max Crosby has to watch his reps, and he has to watch this and do that, just to be able to play and get on the field. And, they got to make sure he's okay and able to play. We don't know the true scope of what's going on. I guess, again, I'm no medical doctor. And his knee, even in former videos from a couple of weeks ago, I was looking at his knee, after the game in a picture, and I forget which one, the left or the right, but the right knee would be normal. Then you would look through his pads that the left knee looked 2 times bigger. And I'm looking at previous games before the Chiefs game. I'm looking at the pictures after the game. And I'm like, damn, his knee has been like that all freaking year. Or maybe it started after week 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever. Who knows? And they didn't really talk about it or address it until just recently. And why did they address his knee? Because he had an illness on top of that. So they had to report it now because the NFL is getting stricter in reporting every single thing that goes on now in the injury reports. And I don't know how bad it is, because they addressed that he's going to need something done to his knee in the offseason. That has been the report. So that means it's serious. Anytime something needs to be done for your knee, it's serious. And I know Max wants to get back onto the field and this and that, and he'll play it through no matter what, because he's a diehard, and I love the guy. I love him. And he's still the best player out there for the Raiders, even injured or with a knee issue. But I'm looking at this long term. If I'm the general manager and Antonio Pierce, I'm questioning about sitting him down. I am. for the betterment of the team moving forward and for Max Crosby's career. I would have told him to get surgery or do whatever you got to do right now, today. But Antonio Pierce needs to win. And he's going to do what the players tell him because they are more popular players than Antonio Pierce. And Antonio Pierce wants to become the head coach, and he needs his best players. And Max Crosby, you know, he's the man. He'll be like, hell no, coach, I can play. Antonio Pierce will be like, all right, but, you know, they had that little fight in the Kansas City game, that little bit of a fight when he took Max Crosby out in a weird situation, put him in 2 plays later. Did Max Crosby win that argument? I don't know. But Max Crosby, please take this with no ill will. Didn't look that good. Didn't look that good. Not like the Max Crosby before an knee injury. And he's still getting double teamed, which is a good thing. But with the knee injury and looking half than, looking 60% than he is with a better knee, maybe he'll be 70% this week because they had the bye week. I do not know. But if it needs surgery to long-term his career, I have some serious doubt about leaving him in there and letting him play and not getting surgery this week. That's my opinion. And I think for his own good, but again, they know much more how the injury or the knee or whatever it is, they know better than I do. So from my words to your head, it may not be as worse as I'm making it. But I heard he needs surgery or he needs to do something to his knee at the end of the season. And he had a drainage while he had the illness. He spoke about that on his podcast. He said they went in there, shot him up with needles and drained out things and fluid and all this other stuff. So his bones are hitting, or one of his bones is chipped, or it's doing something. It's creating fluid. It's creating tension. And that clearly possibly means surgery. Maybe the doctors say it can't get any worse. You're just going to have to drain fluid. It can't get any worse. So go ahead and play. I do not know. But man, I don't want him to go out there and play like it's 60, 70% and then get double teamed or triple teamed. And then because he's a little bit worried about his knee, he takes the wrong step or he gets tired and then he moves his knee the wrong way. Then maybe he pulls a hamstring or something like that. You know, like it could happen anytime. And I apologize for projecting my fears, but I love this guy. And I'm questioning some of the decisions, not only from Max Crosby, but Antonio Pierce and our general manager, whether they should talk with him or shut him down or force him to have surgery or whatever. But again, they're not going to do that. They're trying to win. And they know his passion. So there's nothing else I can say. But in my opinion, I hope this situation doesn't get worse. I'm normally a good purveyor or foreseer of things. I normally am, like with my life, my family. And I hate the fact that sometimes some of the things I say, most of them, they seem to come true. And I don't know why I'm worried about Max Crosby playing tomorrow. Yeah. I don't know why I'm worried about it. Damn. But prayers, nothing bad happens, and I'll leave it at that. All right, let's see your guys' comment on this situation. He said he was 60%. That's right. That's where I got the number from that interview. Thank you for reminding me, Black Sheep. What's up, Frost? How you doing, brother? We should take care of that knee now for next season. That's what I was saying, man. I freaking agree. It is what it is. Is a rebuild coming? You know what? Just to answer it real quickly, but hopefully you would ask me later to remind me, because I like to deal with the topics that we are dealing with, because my mind goes everywhere. But is a rebuild coming? Yeah. We might need a new quarterback. We might need a new running back. We might need a new wide receiver. Sounds like a rebuild to me. We might need a couple of offensive linemen in replacement of Colton Miller. Sounds like a rebuild. Mark Torres, what's up? The odds don't favor. Sorry, get that on screen. The odds don't favor making the playoffs. You're right, they don't. So I say shut Crosby down. They have a rookie coach, play caller, a rookie coach, a rookie play caller, and a rookie quarterback. Playoffs are a long shot at the best. I agree with you. That's my philosophy. But again, Max Crosby won't shut himself down. And will a rookie coach who's trying to get hired with a sliver of a hope, will he shut him down? He will not. So it would be honestly up to Brian or Champ Kelly or Brian Kelly, the general manager, to make that ultimate decision. And would he do that when he's trying to win as well? And that would be an unfavorable decision against the fan base. And then that would also make Max Crosby mad as well. So there might be a little bit of tension or hatred there. It's a very fascinating situation. Very sad situation, to be honest with you, too. Yeah, they got to see. Yeah, they got to sit him. And in my opinion, if they sit him, we got to see THRU Wilson ball out. Like, that would be the game. That would be, if he has anything after his injury or anything after learning 13 games this NFL season, THRU Wilson could have the game of his life. Or not the game of his life, but the game of the entire season for the Raiders. If he could put it all together and be the guy. They're not going to double team THRU Wilson. They don't need to. Even with Max Crosby gone, they're not going to double team THRU Wilson. They're going to leave an offensive lineman for another blocker or this or that. They don't care about THRU Wilson. He hasn't shown us anything. So that would be an opportunity for a player to shine. And even with Max Crosby playing tomorrow, this is an opportunity for THRU to play and shine. But they don't even start THRU Wilson anymore. But if Max Crosby sat down, in my opinion, they would have to start THRU Wilson. And then that could be one of those games, man, that it's a coming out party. I'm coming now to let the world to know THRU Wilson can grow. He's coming out. But again, does he have it in him? I guarantee you by the end of that game, if he played for Max Crosby, or even if he plays a lot for an injured Max Crosby, we're going to find out who he truly is in that game. He's looking like a backup depth piece in the following years. That's pretty dang scary. We need to know who is for real as far as buying into Antonio Pierce besides Crosby and Robert Spillane. I think everybody's buying into Antonio Pierce. Again, there's some flaws, and we'll talk about them in a minute. What's the medical diagnosis listed as? I do not know. Maybe somebody you guys know or got up to date with it. I haven't. What's up, Mark? Remember what Del Rio did with Carr? Playing Carr while he was hurt, and then Carr got injured? Oh, my God, you're right. Wow, Mark. Why'd you have to do that, bro? Those are all my damn fears for Max Crosby, dude. Damn. But you're right. Mark, man, you remember your history, brother. Max Crosby's listed as questionable. Yeah, well, Antonio Pierce on Friday said he's going to play. He might be on a pitch count. but he's going to play. That's what Antonio Pierce said. What's up, all eyes on G? Live my life as a boss player until the day I die. All eyes on G. Goodness, my mouse is like needs a new battery or something. No, just a star defensive tackle. Another reliable running back to pair with Jacobs. Sorry, I must be missing things. Maybe Mark should weigh in on the Max Crosby situation since Pierce and Champ aren't guaranteed jobs moving forward. No, Mark needs to leave his mouth shut. He'll end up getting in controversy. If he weighs in on that situation, you know what? I don't like Max. I want him to shit. Everybody will start questioning his decision-making. You know, like, it's just, he needs to just shut up. That's just my opinion. Trade Tyree Wilson for some magic beans. Mark said, I'm giving Tyree a pass for 1 year. I'm not. I knew that he wouldn't have his legs under him until week 8, 9, or 10 and start understanding the NFL. But we haven't seen any progression. Even since week 5, his moves, he doesn't have any. And they're getting worse. Literally, watch the game footage. That's why he's no longer, he was starting those first 3, 4, 5, 6 games. Now he's a backup piece. That proves he's not getting that much better on practice tape or game tape when he does go in there. That's just the honest truth. Rookie pass is mandatory, Mikey. Come on. Not for a 7th round pick. A 7th round. A 7th pick in the 1st round. No. Sorry. All right, let's change the banner. Let's go to the next subject. All right, does Antonio Pierce deserve to be our next head coach? I mean, if you tell me right now, the first 2 weeks, all the media was hyping him, all that, stuff, which was good. And he does seem to have the Raider way, the Raider spirit, the Raider gusto, whatever you want to call it. He has that spark. And can motivating coaches be an answer and a good head coach in the NFL? Yes, they can. Has been proven by people like John Madden. But John Madden knew the game as well. But there can be situations where motivating head coaches can create a big-time history. But also in today's NFL, you not only need coaching experience at different levels, you also need to understand game flow and game technology and game strategy. And I don't think Antonio Pierce has went to school officially for all of those things. Even when he was a player, I don't think he hit game strategy on the offense or whatever, or, timeout decisions or going for it on 4th and 3rd and inches or whatever the case may be. He didn't understand that stuff. So he's delegating it to coaches and coordinators at positions. So it just proves he's not an actual coach of knowledge of every situation or anything just yet, this early in his career, and he has struggled. But is he a good dude that can motivate the players to play 10%, 15%, 20% better on occasion? Yeah, he can. He can get it done. They like this guy. They believe in him. But again, he's only a motivational coach at this point. He is not a coordinator. So even though they believe in him and his pride and his heart and his soul and his work ethic. But they don't technically believe in his game plan because he doesn't really have a game plan. He hasn't really figured it out. Plus, he's not a coordinator in any situation. The linebackers like him even more. But again, that's no detriment to who he is. We still need to see growth, and we are getting that from him. He made some really bad decisions in that first loss versus Miami and versus Kansas City. Those mistakes, some of them were taken away, and he did things differently. And he even pulled out Max Crosby, albeit for 2 plays. He at least showed some, I'm the fucking coach. So I like what I see from him. I like it. But the mass media has been reporting they should hire him just now, right now. Blah, blah, blah. You know, the big stream TV shows. Hire him now. Diversity, equity, inclusion. A black owner, a black general manager, a black CEO, a black head coach. Oh, first time for the NFL to have all 3. Calm down. We're not going to do anything for the DEI agenda's sake. Plus, I think I was the first person to talk about it in the video maybe 2 weeks ago or a week ago in one of the videos. I said, why is the mainstream media calling for Mark Davis to hire him right now? Get it done. Because they're pleasing the woke agenda. And I'm not trying to break down Antonio Pierce to race, but that's what they want. That's what they want. And they're trying to force that agenda on Mark Davis. But they don't know a thing about the NFL and the rules. Clearly. Because I spoke about it maybe a week and a half ago. They can't just outright hire Antonio Pierce in the middle of the season. They have Rooney rules. They have to interview candidates. They have to go through the process. It's in the bylaws for the NFL. And I spoke about that. Then all of a sudden, and I'm not saying they watch my channel, but I'm sure they do. Then 2 days later, Antonio Pierce made a tweet. Antonio Pierce. Vic THRU made a tweet, or it might have been Vincent Bonsignor, forgive me. One of the two made a tweet to that very subject that I addressed in my video. They cannot just hire him. They have to go through the Rooney rule and the laws of the NFL, this and that. So everybody, shut your pie hole. Well, don't shut your pie hole. It's Christmas. There's a lot of good pie out there to eat. So I did that, in my opinion. I created that storyline to remind people that there are rules. But, it had to be said by Vincent Bonsignor and Vic THRU until it got to the masses. Because I only got a few thousand subscribers. And only 1,000 people watch at a time. But it's all good. So, but does he deserve to be our next head coach? If you asked me 2 weeks ago, I'd be like, hell yeah, because I was riding that train. Riding that train, y'all. Because we needed positivity for the Raiders organization. And we got it. We got it. But now looking back, we're at a more even-killed space. And we got to think about this because we can't make no more mistakes. Mark Davis, the Raiders organization, we can't make no more mistakes. We can't keep doing things with not really thinking about it. Hiring the most popular person, hiring the most this, the most that. We can't do that shit no more. But I'll be honest with you. The one thing I like about this is now that we all know that we don't have to go that approach to hire a new coach. I hope Mark Davis finally sees, you know what? Maybe a players type coach might just do it for us. At least he has that thinking. So it's to be determined. It's TBD. Not to be confused with TMZ. It's TBD. Or not to be confused with BBC or BBW. Well, what are those sexual terms I just brought out? Sorry. I'm on webcam sites a lot. Ooh, she could use the BBC. I'm like a big brother named Carl. You're one hot BBW. Oh, is that a new car line? I remember BMWs. Long story short, does he deserve to be our next head coach? Does he deserve? No. Can he win it? Yeah. He has a good possibility. So that brings me to your guys' comments. And if he was going to be replaced at the end of the season, not right now, but at the end of the season, with the candidates that are supposedly available, who could be his replacement? Well, there's John Gruden rumors out there with the lawsuit that we just talked about with Mark Torres. There's another offensive coordinator for the Eagles, I think it is, or somebody else that has been mentioned in the conversation. Brian Flores was mentioned in the conversation, but he's of the former Patriot way, and I don't want anybody near us with that situation. Oh, I forgot to talk about the Max Crosby, Tom Brady 12 situation, about how the TB12 is in the building and they're working on Max's knee. They're the people that are helping Max get prepared for every game, and they're probably charging him like $30,000 for everything. That was the storyline. I talked about that in my previous video. So if any of you guys are like, what is he talking about with Tom Brady and TB12 and Alex Guerrero, go back and watch my video called There's Another Snake in the Building, TB12, to get more of an update, because we're moving on. But I forgot to talk about it earlier in the Max Crosby segment. Forgive me. But there's Brian Flores that has been mentioned, John Gruden, Jim Harbaugh, the guy from Michigan, that he's not going to be back there. And I'll be honest, man, I don't want to pick anybody right now. If I had to pick from all of the people right now, knowing what I know, I want to go with the motivation of Antonio Pierce. Right now. Right now. I just want to see where it goes. I like this momentum. But again, I'm going to refer my decision to maybe the offseason after the next 4 or 5 games for Antonio Pierce, because I'm going to try to give you guys an honest, objective view. But if I'm flying by the seat of my pants, when I wanted our former coach to be fired, I wanted Gruden to come in right away. Like right away. Even that first week with Antonio Pierce, I wanted Gruden to somehow come in. Not that I like Gruden a lot, but I wanted him to come in. I just wanted him. But then I heard Antonio Pierce talking, and then I felt that right away spirit, and then I liked him, man. Then I initially said, make him our head coach. But now, if you ask me right now, if I had to pick today, I would want Antonio Pierce as our next coach right now. I want to ride that momentum train. You guys let me know what you thought or what you think. The mistake would be, goodness gracious, I get something there. Nothing work on my. The mistake would be hiring another candidate. The right away is either. Why did it go off? Come on. My goodness, what happened to that other statement I wanted to read? There it is. The mistake would be hiring another candidate. The right away is either bring back Gruden or promote Antonio Pierce. That is the right away. You're damn right. Good point, Black Sheep. Motivational coaches like Pierce are limited. Rex Ryan and Herm Edwards of the Jets were motivation coaches more than XNO coaches. You're right. You know what? Mark, you got some good points today, brother. You're exactly right. And they didn't do that well long term. Yo, Dionysius. What's up, brother? Maybe you for head coach? I'll take it. I also heard they didn't go through the Rooney Rule since Pierce would be an in-house hire. I also heard they didn't have to go through the Rooney Rule since Pierce was an in-house hire. I'm not sure how that works. You know what? Good point, Mark. Yeah, you know what? You might be right, man. I gotta research that. Sorry, guys, my computer's slow. The best course of action would be Antonio Pierce full-time, Gruden as offensive coordinator, get another running back on top of JJ, and either draft a pro quarterback, an RPO quarterback, Dyslexia. RPO quarterback to split reps with Aiden, a first-round friend. Black Sheep, are you sure you're not the general manager already? You're probably him. You're probably Champ Kelly or Brian Kelly, whatever the name is. You're probably him. Frost WSA, Gruden had 2 chances passed, but the team was starting to win, and they built a pretty decent offense show. Whether you like him as a coach or not, they started to put things together. I sure hope they are not, or they are in a win mode now mode, whoever the head coach is. Yeah, I mean, I understand that statement, all eyes. I don't agree with it at this moment. I just don't. Because win now is like what the Rams did. They spent all their dollars, all their draft picks on everybody to win a Super Bowl. But they had a couple of key pieces on the defensive line that got them to that Super Bowl when they brought in Matt Stafford and everybody else. And that is a win mode now mentality. But they've been hurting for 3 years since. They're kind of doing okay right now, but they're still hurting really badly financially and yeah. But I see your point. The Raiders need a Super Bowl. They need to win now. But do we have the key pieces to win now? Again, maybe we're one quarterback away. Maybe we're one wide receiver away. Again, depending on what happens with Devontae and JJ and Max Crosby's knee situation, and do we bring in a quarterback? Again, it's a lot up in the air. But right now, from my objective standing, I want the Raiders to build for the damn future. I want us to get some damn draft picks. I want us to get a general manager and a motivational coach, and I just want everything done the Raider way. They need to find out what the Raider way is and what it will be. And then they need to pursue it to no ends. And if that means a win now mentality with the Raider way spirit in it, I got you, brother. It's a very tough question, though. I mean, we've lost so much that I don't care if we have a win now mentality. Even though I want it, it would be exciting. Dude, I just want to get some draft picks. I want to draft 10 players in the draft and have 5 of them on the team 2 years later. You know, like at least 50% of the draft picks are still on the team and playing decent for us. That's what I want. I want some damn consistency. And yeah, it would be exciting to go all out and have a win now mode. Maybe we can win. Maybe we make the playoffs. But do we win a Super Bowl? Are the pieces that are still on the roster next year good enough to do that? People say, well, the Rams had Aaron Donald, and we have Max Crosby. But I'll be honest with you, Max Crosby is no Aaron Donald. They play different positions technically, but Max Crosby is not as good and as beastly as Aaron Donald was. He might just be a shade under at a different position. But still, that's a great question, man. It's a great thing. I'm going to leave it at that. The Raider way. What's up, Cambridge? Yeah, Mikey, I could do much better. I could do a much better job than, I can't say his name. But no, maybe response to your question was, does Pierce have the job? Oh, I got you. What's up, Cambridge 79? The Raider way. All right, let's go to the next subject. And I shouldn't be doing these subjects right now, but you know what? Screw it. Should Devontae come back next year? And I guess we can put Josh Jacobs in this situation as well. I hate to say this, and you guys are not going to like my opinion right now. As a fan, do I want Devontae to come back next year? Yes. But out of respecting the player and what's going on, and knowing that he did earlier in the season seek ouch. Should he come back next year? If I was Davante, I would try to get out. Even though he loves the team and he wants to play for them, again, this goes back to the other question from All Eyes on G. If the Raiders are in a win now mentality and they go out and they get either the first draft pick, a quarterback in the draft, or they get a real big veteran quarterback that's better than, Garoppolo, then Davante might stay, even though he's contracted. He ain't going nowhere. Again, let's be honest. He's under contract, and there's nothing for him to say that he's going to leave unless requesting a trade, becoming a diva, whatever the situation might be. He's under contract. But for his own psyche, he should want out unless the Raiders go in win now mode, which is what you would think they would have done last year. But again, that's a different a different coach and general manager. So much is up in the air. So much is up in the air for the Raiders. So if I'm Davante, I play out the rest of the season, and then I start to see what it looks like during the draft and next year. And then he's going to have to make the decision whether he wants to become a problem or request a trade or piss off Raider Nation by trying to maybe go to a winning organization in his last couple years. I don't know. So much is up in the air. So many questions. But again, at the end of the day, there is no question. He's under contract. As a fan, I want him back. But if I'm thinking about him as an individual, and if I'm Davante Adams, it's a wait and see. And it's scary to say that, but that's what it's going to be. It's going to be a wait and see. But he's under contract. So do the Raiders play hardball and become a-holes and be like, no, you're staying, even though you're possibly talking or looking for an out or being a diva? We're going all in. We're gonna, have Aiden O'Connell, or we're gonna draft this backup or get rid of Garoppolo or whatever the case may be, and you're staying with us. Then he might piss off Davante. It's a scary offseason, guys, with a lot of questions. I hate that it is that way, but Mark Davis knew the minute he lost basically about $100 million to fire the staff and everything and do all this stuff. He knew there'd be some hard decisions ahead. Could be some hard decisions ahead for everybody. And it could get worse. If we think it's bad now, it could get worse. But it will never, in my opinion, be as bad as it was this year with our coach and our former GM and our former coach. And that is a miracle in itself. All right, let's see if I can get your guy. Remember, thank you, Cambridge. And if you want to join the live stream, the link to join is in the members section, my dude. All right, let's read some of the comments. Goodness gracious. No 6-year plan like McDoofus. Frost WSA, Colton Miller just turned 28. He's not going anywhere. Dude, this is his last year on the contract. I'm pretty certain this is his last year. And now he's got this really bad injury or a shoulder injury that's keeping him out even more. I don't know what's going to happen, man. Did he get an extension? I don't think he did. I think this is his last year. But I may be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong. But the Colton Miller, there still is a situation there, Frost. I don't like the draft. We traditionally built our team through free agency. You're dang right. Or a first and Aaron Donald. Yeah, there's a lot of scenarios that we could go to, that we could definitely go to. I'm going to need a first and a second and Cam Jordan and Tay. You're saying, hell yeah. Are you talking about joining the live stream? Oh, shit. If you do, find the members-only community post. I don't know where it is on your phone or wherever, but click the link and then go through all the procedures. And even though the show is about to wind down in the next 30 minutes, you could be a part of it before we get out of here. I think McDaniels and Ziegler, or I should put it on screen. I think McDaniels and Ziegler are the exceptions of once a Raider, always a Raider. You can't be after sabotaging the Raiders. You know, the more that I think about it, I don't think they sabotaged the Raiders. I just think they're morons. I don't think they specifically went out to sabotage the Raiders. They've sabotaged themselves, and they took the Raiders along with them. All right, Black Sheep coming with the facts, the receipts. Colton is contracted through 2025. There you go, brother. Then he ain't going anywhere for 2 years at least. But I hope he recovers from the injury. Thank you very much. Hey, how much cap space do we actually have since you're looking? I don't even want to mess around with my computer. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. How much cap space do we actually have right now? Because we got Jack Jones playing, and we're going to talk about that in a minute in the game preview. So, yeah. Let me take a quick little break. Let me grab a water bottle and come back, and we're going to do the game preview. We are going to do the game preview and predictions, and we're going to have a little bit of a good time. Let me see if I can change the thing up. Let me just get out of the room for about 30, 40 seconds, grab a water, and I'll be right back. How do I put on the little will be disturbed timer button? I'm going to put on a countdown, even though I'm live, but I'll be right back, guys. I guess we're back. Luckily, I got my water just in time. What's up, everybody? It's Mikey Raiders, Raider Football Talk, where we just went through some very sensitive topics. And we gave the latest news on the Raiders. We had a good little Raider football talk with a bunch of people. Go back and watch the show if you haven't watched it already up to this point. And now we're about to get into the game preview versus the Minnesota Vikings. And we're going to talk about all the storylines and the perspectives about the Raiders and can they make it? Will they make it? Will they win? Can they get in? Can they bend? And let me take this topic off screen because people are going to think we're still talking about it. But yeah, the topics we talked about earlier in the show are Raider reporters infighting over false reports. We talked about Max Crosby and the situation getting possibly worse. We also talked about the snake in the building, Tom Brady 12, working with Max Crosby, with TB12 and Alex Guerrero. We didn't really talk about it. I talked about that in a previous video. We talked about, does Antonio Pierce deserve to be our next head coach? Then we also talked about, should Devontae come back next year? All right, let's get into the game preview. The Raiders face the Minnesota Vikings in a must-win game. The Vikings are coming off a bye week. The Raiders are coming off a bye week. I believe the Raiders' record are 6-7. Forgive me, guys. I'm a little, or 5-7. Should have did my research. Yeah, you should know these things, Mikey Raider. look, I've had a tough time. I've had some serious shit happen in my family. Like my brother's like clinging to life. He's in a rehab in a hospital, clinging to life. I had to go to his former roommate situation and saw how he was living, and I had to basically try to get his life mementos back. Almost got in a fist fight. Almost had to call the cops. Thought I was going to be stabbed. I've been dealing with emotions. It's been really tough, man, trying to save my brother's life, or what's left of it. So I've been dealing with a lot. So please forgive me. My brain is not all there. But you know what? He's in a rehab. He's in a hospital. And he's alive now. So thank God for the blessings. All right. Here, Black Sheep gave me the answer. 15 and a 6 cap hit for Colton in 2024. That's next year. Again, can they get rid of him? Even though he's under contract, can they get rid of him? How much of a cap hit if they get rid of him? All right, I'll check that out later. Let's do the thing. Real time, we have 8.5 cap space. They got 8.4 milli right now. They should sign a defensive edge rusher and rest Max Crosby. Did you see what Bruce Irvin did to Derek Carr? Remember, he hated John Gruden for getting rid of him and all that other stuff a couple years back. And then Bruce Irvin came back to play for, I forgot what team, Atlanta, I think it was Atlanta. I don't know who it was. But he played for somebody, and they whooped up on Derek Carr, and they injured him so badly. I hope he heals, but Derek Carr still struggles. But I now see what a lot of people saw about Derek Carr, you know, up and down, and it's like either a great, fantastic game with an interception at the end. Yeah, I'm getting a little tired of it, but I still respect him. I still like him, and I hope he can fight his way back, because the fans are souring on him as well with the Saints. Man, that Raider information carried over to the Saints, and it's all being not used against Derek Carr because he deserves some of it, but like it's all being used against him as well, because the Saints are struggling as well, and they think it's all because of Derek Carr. And it's crazy how that evilness and that ridiculous rhetoric works its way all the way over to his new team. He's not that bad of a guy, and he's not that bad of a quarterback. He's just not a Super Bowl quarterback, you know. All right, I got to stop talking about that. What's up, video comment? Hey, video comment. Thanks for your video comment. All right, let's talk about the game preview. So the Minnesota Vikings are without their quarterback, Kirk Cousins, with Josh Dobbs, who looked really good, and I love that storyline with Josh Dobbs. But he had a really bad game, even in fantasy last week or 2 weeks ago. I think he was like scored 2 or 3 points in total. And they were even thinking about benching Josh Dobbs for this game. So there's some serious questions to be answered, whether Josh Dobbs can return back to a semi-decent form, you know, now that he's becoming the starter, not coming off of the bench. But the Vikings are getting Justin Jefferson back since week 5. And we all studied player. Sorry about that. Apparently the internet's going in and out. Justin Jefferson is a star-studded player, and he's going to come back and do what he does, regardless of injury. He might be at 90%, 95%, but that dude has been training and practicing for at least 3 weeks now, and he's been off of IR for 5 weeks. And, yeah, he is a big opponent to us, Justin Jefferson. And one of the storylines that need to be talked about is our cornerback situation. We released Marcus Peters for whatever reason, and I haven't heard much more about the fight or the reasons why, given from Antonio Pierce. But apparently everything is kumbaya, my lord, kumbaya. I don't think so. Because Jack Jones, Antonio Pierce's project from high school, from college, from the Patriots, is now the cornerback on this team and probably going to be the starting cornerback. Him and or Amik Robinson in playing for Marcus Peters. Maybe that's why they got fought. He got kicked off the team, not because he sucked or he couldn't tackle. But yeah, there's something there about Jack Jones and Marcus Peters, man. There's a storyline there. But these cornerbacks for the Raiders, not playing the best, not playing, so good as of late, but they are holding it down as best as possible, and our defense is much improved. But now we got a speedy Jordan Addison to deal with, especially with a Jack Jones who's barely playing for his first time, Amik Robinson who's a little shorter than most, but he can get it done at occasions, but he also makes mistakes, but he's a baller. Then we got Marcus Epps, and I don't know who's going to cover each individual receiver at any given moment or if they're all going to do it. But you can't typically double team Jefferson on every play, knowing that we have such issues at other spots on the field. Jordan Addison is a quick, speedy receiver that played like a mini Justin Jefferson while he was out. Then we got TJ Hawkinson coming back, been playing through injury, but that guy is a baller. That guy is a better Darren Waller at his peak, a little bit of a better Darren Waller at his peak. But in terms of TJ Hawkinson, the best ability is availability, and that dude is available, even through injuries and stuff. And we struggle against tight ends. We do. Look over our history. We do. We've been playing much better this year, but we struggle against tight ends. But we got Robert Spillane out there that might cover TJ Hawkinson on a moment's occasion. And he going to bring it because that's what he does. Robert Spillane brings it. But it doesn't mean that he outmatches TJ in the open field. And if there's a situation where one of our linebackers is having to cover a running back out of the backfield or a receiver on a bad matchup or a tight end out of a bad matchup, it's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long day. Even with Josh Dobbs as quarterback, a secondary quarterback compared to Kirk Cousins. But we held our own against Patrick Mahomes last week, so I know we can hold our own against Josh Dobbs. But can we do it all game? He will make abilities with his feet. He will make plays with his feet, and they're going to ask him to do that much more. They're actually going to put in some RPO plays for Josh Dobbs this week. Coming off of the bye, they inserted a few new plays, and the Raiders are going to see a few things they haven't seen all year from the Vikings, even on game tape. But again, I like our defense, and they hold their own, and I'm so proud of them. So I expect our Raiders defense to hold their own. This might be a shootout where both defenses have a subpar game. This might be a subpar game for both defenses. Coming off a bye, they don't play so good. They're a little lackadaisical. And then our quarterbacks look that much better. Again, it could be that way. Or you can look at it from the other aspect. It could be a grinded out game that the Raiders normally have every year. At least on offense, where we have to grind out 10 points. But I think it's going to be the latter. I think this is going to be a more explosive game for both teams. And sorry, my screen just went blank. Let's hope I get it back. In our former coach's philosophy, I hope that our team scores more points than the other team, and then we'll get a victory. Now we talked about the Minnesota offense versus the Raiders defense a little bit from my perspective. Now let's talk about the Raiders offense versus Minnesota's defense from my opinion or direction. Aiden O'Connell stepped up last week, y'all. He grew. He stood in the pocket and tried to make some plays. He didn't make all of them, but he definitely didn't falter under the covers as he did in the previous week versus Miami on a few occasions. Aiden O'Connell is taking everything to the bank. He's not cashing out. And that's one thing that I'm very excited to see versus Minnesota. But they got a good rushing defense. And Antonio Pierce said it best. They are going to blitz him. They are going to blitz Aiden O'Connell. Expect it from every... Sorry, let me get the comments back on screen. They are going to blitz him. I don't know if it's still live. I haven't seen any comments for about 20 minutes. They are going to blitz him. So they got to make amends. And we're not going to have Colton Miller again. But they've been playing okay without the addition of Colton Miller. But they need a run game this week. Josh Jacobs is going to need to do his Josh Jacobs thing. And they're going to need to protect Aiden O'Connell on those key deep throws more than normal. So that means the wide receivers are going to need to make some plays as well. Jacoby Myers can ball out, but he's normally a across-the-middle type of player, especially in the new offense under Bo Hardegrave. He's more so the middle-of-the-field type of slot wide receiver. And Devontae is kind of the all-around player. And to go down the field, they seem to only take the big shots, like 30 yards or more, with Trey Tucker. I haven't seen anybody excel in that department for the Raiders. Maybe on a couple of occasions, Jacoby did or Devontae did. But Trey Tucker is apparently their go-to. And I would tell them, put Devontae on one of those big routes as well as a Trey Tucker or as well as a Jacoby Myers. And then across the middle of the field, you get Hunter Renfrow. Because Devontae going deep and Jacoby might bring a double team or whatever, and then you could sneak Trey Tucker out from maybe a tight end type position, or you could put in Trey Tucker, have a 4 wide receiver set with Hunter Renfrow, then Hunter and Trey do something like a cross pattern while Devontae and Jacoby look like they're going deep. And then you can literally have them all 3 go deep. Trey Tucker, Devontae, and then Hunter across the middle for a 7-yard gain. And then, again, the matchups might if Aiden O'Connell has enough time, they might double-team Devontae or Jacoby or vice versa, and they're going to be looking for them on the deep pass because Trey Tucker came out like as a slot wide receiver. Then he puts on the burst. So there might be a spot in the middle of the field for a big pass play to Trey Tucker, 25 yards more downfield if they do something like that. But I expect their philosophy to be to have 4 wide receiver sets. If you need to take out Michael Mayer in blocking or whatever to do these sets, do it. And hopefully your offensive line could give Aiden O'Connell enough time, or you could have Amir Abdullah or whoever block in replacement of that tight end and get these wide receivers going on multiple various routes. And I hope they do that early. That would be my philosophy. I'm not Bo Hardegrave, and he still has to work within the system that our former coach gave to him, and he hasn't had enough time to add in all his personal wrinkles yet. But man, if you could add 1 play or 2 plays in that sort of fashion where you got wide receivers going all over the field and you specifically make your linemen to block for Aiden O'Connell, Aiden O'Connell can get it done. That dude's got a deep ball, y'all. He's got a deep ball. If he's got the time the pride, and he handles, and he doesn't have as much pressure, and you got wide receivers all over the field, man, we could be a great Raider offense with Aiden O'Connell, even though he's a rookie. We can. That being said, I don't know if that will be their game plan. I don't know if they have those wrinkles, but I'm at least excited for Aiden O'Connell and his accuracy in the deep ball. That gets me excited because that is Raider football. If you want to build an offense around that, that's Raider football. Run the ball up the middle, grind it through, and go deep, baby. Go deep. We don't have all the players with the speed as we did in the past that Al Davis liked to draft or pick up through the combines, but we at least got a couple of them that can get it done. And then Hunt, that would open up the middle of the field for Hunter Renfrow. And we know he can get it done. And I'm just going to say this now. I'll give my predictions in a little bit. But we need Josh Jacobs to run the ball a lot, and I hope he has a fullback blocking for him, Amir Abdullah. And I hope they run him up the middle instead of always putting him on the sidelines, because as the game goes along, Josh Jacobs seems to feed while going up the middle. And the Minnesota Vikings can be ran on. They can be ran on. We can run a train on the Vikings defense. Doesn't everybody like to run a train on somebody? Wow. My sexual jokes are just ridiculous today. I'm horny. All right, let's see this. Black Sheep, Littleton. See if I can get it on screen. Littleton, Carr, Nasheeb, and Drake and Leather were dead money in 2024. Still. What's up, Walter Scott? How you been, brother? Salute to my boy Mikey Raider. We got a big one coming up Sunday against the Vikings. I believe we will get that window. That's right, for positivity, baby. Yeah. So let me give my quick little storyline and prediction, since I went through the preview, to my small faction or my small knowledge. The storyline is, how much will Max Crosby play? Will they take him out? And again, we talked about it earlier. I'm praying that he doesn't get injured any further. But that is the storyline. How much will Max Crosby play? Will he be effective? Will anybody else step up when he's not on the field? Will anybody step up? Will Tyree Wilson do anything if given an opportunity? Can the Raiders get pressure on Josh Dobbs? If they do, it will be a successful day. If they don't get any pressure on Josh Dobbs, he will carve the Raiders up because he is a decent enough quarterback that can also run the ball. And he will have some RPOs in his arsenal. And the Raiders don't fare so well with RPOs, especially with a weak defensive line. Will Malcolm Kuntz or what other players will step up on that defensive line? They can't do it weekly, but maybe this week they can. And Malcolm Kuntz has that possibility. There's other players in the mix, but I'm hoping for a standout beyond Max Crosby, because I don't expect, and I'm not trying to be rude, I don't expect a standout day from Max Crosby. I don't want him to injure himself going too hard. That's why I question whether he should literally be in the game. But again, he's going to be in the game. We have to accept it. And Max Crosby will take on double teams and hopefully open it up for somebody else. Who will be that star player on the defensive line besides Max Crosby? Because we need one this week. Now, the other storyline is Aiden O'Connell versus the Vikings blitz, because they are going to blitz him. And we just spoke about what Aiden O'Connell can do, and he is progressing. He's no longer looking, in my opinion, like a fourth-round quarterback. He's looking like a third-round quarterback. That's right. That's my opinion from last week with the Chiefs game. That's my opinion. So he is progressing. He's still got a lot of things to fix. Can he fix them all? I don't know. Does he have all the abilities that we would want out of a starting quarterback? Probably not. But it's what we got, and it is what it is. Shout out to a member or a fan of the channel. It is what it is. But he's progressing. And this game could possibly be a shootout. I feel that way. I feel that way with the return of Justin Jefferson, everybody coming off a bye, and them needing to score points to try to get into the playoffs. And I see the Raiders just, after realizing what they learned last week from Aiden O'Connell with throwing the deep ball in pressure and almost getting it a few times, I think the Raiders are going to open up the playbook and just let them ball out. But they do have to control the game. They do have to control the game with Josh Jacobs. So if there's any player that I said from Minnesota of the offense that'll be a standout stud player that'll probably be targeted and be the go-to person, it's going to be, no doubt, Justin Jefferson. Joshua Dobbs and Justin Jefferson are going to try to create a statement or make a statement versus the Raiders and our cornerbacks early on in the game, and that the statement is Justin Jefferson is back, baby, and Joshua Dobbs is also back as a decent quarterback. And then TJ Hawkinson is another big concern for me from the Minnesota offense. I'm concerned for everybody. Alexander Madison, not the best player. He can grind it up the middle. He could have a great game, but they are not the best. And then it seems like backup running backs, when there's a star running back that's coming off of injuries or bad games, there's a backup running back for the Vikings or whatever team against the Raiders that always make a name for themselves. So there's a possibility of Ty Chandler or whoever else is back there to have some big plays and step up a little bit better than Madison. But Madison is predicted to have a great game against the Raiders' 22nd run defense up the middle, and Madison runs up the middle. And he's only scored, I don't think he's had a touchdown this entire season, or he's only had one touchdown this entire season. So they're going to try to establish the run with Madison. But I think it's going to be a Justin Jefferson, TJ Hawkinson, targeted game. Now for the Raiders offense, this game no doubt falls in the hands of Josh Jacobs and the offensive line. Even with Colton Miller out, we need to solidify the run game in order to back up their defense and to get some plays across the middle. Then we can take those shots at the deep plays if our run game forces them to step up. Then we can take those shots down the field and get all the wide receivers, this and that, if our run game is on point from the beginning. And they need to establish the run early. And hopefully they do so. Because if they're able to establish the run early, then they'll be able to establish the pass early. And then later in the game, they'll be able to have those deep balls. If they don't establish the run early, we're looking at some troubles. But the same thing could be said for the wide receivers. If we establish the passing game on the first 2 or 3 or 4 plays in a row, even 7 yards, 6 yards, 5 yards, 8 yards, 9 yards, 10 yards, if we literally did that to start the game, their defense would back up. Then guess what? Josh Jacobs up and down the middle or on the sidelines for 15. Then they have to bring it up again. Then we throw the pass back at them. It's going to be a good game. I expect this to be a high-scoring game. I expect it to be. And I'm wishing for it to be. Do I really want Aiden O'Connell in a shootout? Yeah, I do. I do. I want to see that boy sling it 50 times. So we know these last 5 weeks exactly what we got from this dude, because he is progressing to me. So I want a shootout. And Joshua Dobbs wants to prove himself, and Justin Jefferson. So I think they're going to go the route of a shootout as well. I just hope our defense can bend and not break. But that's what I want. I give my final score prediction is, and I have to be honest, guys, you ain't going to like it, but I still have to predict the Raiders losing in this game. I know I should go the fandom route, but I think they got the edge a little bit on both directions. So from a pure fantasy football, if I had to make predictions to win in a parlay or gambling or tournament, I say the Vikings win by 3 points. Okay? So my final score prediction is the Vikings win 30 to 27. I'm going to stick with it. Yeah, the Raiders are going to score more than 20. Take it. But I want to be wrong. And if you guys know my channel, if I put a game that close within 3 or 4 points, that means I also believe the Raiders can win. But I'm sticking with the gambling, the guru, the knowledge, and all that other stuff. And I'm predicting a close Raider game and a shootout, but Raiders lose 30 to 27. And if that happens, I'll be okay. Then you guys can come Thursday Night Football to this channel, and you can watch me get drunk for the Charger game. We're going to take shots. We're going to drink beers. Whatever I can buy or purchase, you guys can super chat me, get me even more effed up. I'm probably going to be semi-buzzed before I even start the show on Thursday Night Football. That's what I'm going to do. So come down and have a party with me. Let's do it. Let's hang out. Let's have a good time. Give me your score predictions for the final game. But come Thursday night, be a part of this channel. Let's have some fun. Let's get effed up together. And hopefully I can earn a few bucks to buy some tacos. But more importantly, I want to have a great night with you guys and root for a Raiders victory. All right? I appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. Now let's get to your predictions. 30. All right, here we go. Walter Scott believes the Raiders will win. Eduardo, 31-17. Wow, let's go. It's Tyree Wilson with a strip sack. Oh, take it. I'll take a pick 6, y'all. I like that, man. I like that prediction, man. Kudos to you, brother. Boo, Mikey. Oh, boo. As I said, boom. Boo, Mikey, boo. Sorry, brother. Raiders win. It's like I have to follow all that Raider mantra. I can never root against the Raiders. But it is what it is. You guys know I'm a damn Raider fan. And if you don't, go screw yourselves. Don't go with the knowledge, Mikey. Go with the delusions. Raiders win 30-27. Raiders win. Raiders win. Remember my prediction. I was going to go live and do the truffle shuffle if the Raiders win more than 7 games this year. Now I'll do the truffle shuffle in my underwear if the Raiders win more than 7 games. Cambridge, that's what I'm talking about, my friend. That's what I'm talking about. Is that in reference to me getting effed up on Thursday night? I need it in my life. Although I don't really like alcohol and I don't like people that drink and I don't like presenting that to people. You know what? I need to ease the tension into my brain, into my head, and I just need to wild out. I need to go wild out in my own home, around good people, in my little environment. I'm going to go wild out for Thursday Night Football. I'm going to go wild out. There you go, Mikey. Raiders win 30-27. Hey, Lolo, or Lalo. Sorry, my eyes. Lolo, what's up again, brother? Thank you again for the donation earlier. Raiders win. Ooh. Ooh, I'll take it. Wow, that would be the most fantastic ending to a game, knowing that they just brought Jack Johnson off of the Patriots after he was released, and they released Marcus Peters, and Jack Johnson is Marcus Peters. Then they win the game with a pick six on defense versus the Vikings at the end of the game to win it. Woo! 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 I love these scenarios. Lolo Vi, Tyler, thank you so much, man. God bless. Yes, sir. That's what you meant, Cambridge. All right, everybody. I'm going to bless you all a beautiful day. I've been online 2 hours. I'm going to get going. I might go live stream on my career channel if you guys want to join me there. But I'm going to get going for now. Thank you guys for tuning in, hanging out with me, going over the storylines. I appreciate all the support, the love. Hit that thumbs up, that like, that subscribe button. Consider becoming a member. And hopefully for the next members chat video, hopefully some members will actually join. But more importantly, I wish you all a very, 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 very good weekend and blessings. And let's pray and root for a Raider victory. Regardless of my predictions, be damned. Let's have a beautiful day with your family, your friends, your loved ones, your fantasy football rosters, your kittens, your cats, your animals, your penis. Let's have a beautiful damn Sunday. I love y'all. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay blessed. Thank you guys for chiming in and hanging out with me, and I'll see you soon.